Well, we're still at Stowford Farm Meadows, and here are some examples of the tricky questions that real caravanners were asking me.
Simple question about the flush button on the Thetford. From one day to another it just didn't work.
Well, obviously check the fuse, but I don't think it would be the fuse. There's obviously a problem with the contacts on the switch. It's a bit of a job to get at, but you can flick an awful lot of plastic sections off one of these products, and you would need to take, if it's the one I'm thinking of, with the, is it a blue button you press? That can be lifted and detached, and I suggest that you look in the instruction sheet, because if you've got the original instruction sheet, if it came with your Caravan, it really has got exploded diagrams that show you the components.
Well, we went to a motorhome show and bought a Wi-Fi roamer so that when we go abroad we can get Sky Go, because we've got a solar panel, dome, and obviously now it's changed to a smaller area, so we thought if we got this roamer that when we go over abroad we could get the little disc you put in Spain, say, and watch Sky Go over there. And the gentleman said on the stall that we could, but since speaking to my son, he reckons out we can't.
A day in February suddenly changed the different satellites in the sky. Somebody was so angry in the talk, they said, so what are you going to do about it? Well, we're small people, we can't do anything about that. But the issue is that people who've bought roof-mounted domes, which are wonderful at finding the satellites, are now needing to be reprogrammed, and when you've spent 1,600 or whatever they cost, it's a bit off to find that it'll work in this country, it'll work as far as they quoted Bordeaux. This is to get our program, BBC and home programs. But once you got beyond that, you are not going to get any joy.
There is an indication light on the Thetford at the top that tells you when the cassette is full. Mine will not work. It hasn't worked since nearly end of season last year.
I wish I'd known we were going to get so many sort of bog standard questions, because I would have brought a lid of the cassette, which is a cut-off cassette that you use for training purposes. Now, the magical thing about the way it tells you the level is they couldn't drill a hole in the side of the cassette to check the level, because it would obviously leak the contents out. So Thetford have used a magical method of having a little float in there, and in that float is a magnet. And on the outside is another magnet, and as the float goes up, the magnets repel each other and it activates whatever dial you've got on your system. Now, unfortunately, the magnets come adrift, and this is something for all of you. The reason they come adrift is because people who've emptied the toilet sensibly put some flush water in, and I see them at the emptying points, and I don't know whether to tell them or not, because it's all a bit embarrassing there, but you see them doing this and shaking it around. Now, that's very praiseworthy, but it shakes the magnet out. It drops in the bottom of the cassette, you never see it again, and the only way of replacing it is to be a service engineer who has the small hands that go through the top and refix the float assembly with a magnet in it. If you've got the latest Thetfords, they've finally got the message to take the whole lot out in one big go, and then you can get both hands in. You could probably even send your wife in the hole to repair the toilet, and it's I bet that's it. You've got a lost magnet.